One of the big things that causes so much discontent, ill feelings, and just all around no good, no fun at all is what we're actually thinking about the circumstance. And if you're wanting to change your life, you've got to change how you think of those different circumstances. And we're going to be talking about that a lot more in detail this week on episode number 189 of The Relaxed Male. This is The Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. All right, so this week we're talking about changing your thoughts before you actually even decide you want to change your circumstances. Because our thoughts, as I've mentioned before, thoughts make our realities. Our thoughts create our results. Our thoughts create the feelings, that create the actions, that create the results. And because of that, so many times we think that if we make a big change in our life, it's just going to fix everything. And all of a sudden, we're just going to have all these other wonderful, great, and awesome things happen to us. You know, all of a sudden, if I start making $1 million a year, I am going to have so much more free time. I'm going to have so much more enjoyable moments, all that. If I lose this 75 pounds, all of a sudden I am going to be a lot more buff. I'm going to be a lot more happier. My wife's going to want to have sex with me a lot more, you know, all these types of thoughts. Yet what you don't realize is your thoughts are what make your result, make your emotions. Losing the weight doesn't make you happy. Losing or changing a job because you think that it's a toxic environment is not going to fix the problem either. And we're going to be talking about that a whole lot more here in just a few moments. But before we start, guys, I want to say thank you to all the new folks, new guys who have come in. We're down in our views, but again, it's summer, so I'm trying not to worry about it too much. I do end up having little worries here and there about it as I see it we've gone down. It's like, oh wow, all right. So, and I've got two different types of statistics that I can look at. I can look at either uniques or I can look at IEB stats, and IEB stats shave off all the extra stuff, and so people who go off and download the whole back catalog, which there was one this week. Thank you for that, because though it was a whole lot of Brian to be listening to it, at least whenever I jumped over into unique, I saw this big old spike of downloads. I'm like, yes, all right. People love me still, or at least one guy likes me enough to listen to me for several hours. And so that's, something like some guys got like 94 hours worth of me yabbering to listen to. At least we got a few interviews in there mixed in, sprinkled throughout, so that it breaks up the monotony of my voice. But anyhow, but it's good. We're still getting new folks coming in, new listens and all that. And it's good to see that we're having that. But that also applies, shows that we've got a lot of, our thoughts do create our results, and it falls into what we're talking about this week really well, because I could go off and go, oh man, and really worry about the fact that the downloads are a little lower than what I would like for them to be. Of course, I would love to have, 10,000 downloads every episode, but that's not going to really happen, is it? That's not going to happen. It's not going to be the case until I am making a product that is actually worthy of 10,000 downloads. And that is where I need to be thinking, and where I need to be addressing the whole line of thoughts. Because if all of a sudden I had 10,000 downloads, yeah, I may end up getting a lot more people who are listening, but are they going to like what they hear, or are they going to actually just hear that and go, ooh, dude, this thing is horrendous. And, and listen once, leave. And all of a sudden I've got 10,000 more people who are thinking that who are actually believing that my podcast is not worthy of being listened to ever again. And so as I grow and as I get more people to download and I get more people to hear, then I get more folks who are jumping in and actually liking the show for the information and not just, the audio quality of what my voice sounds like coming through your earpods. So anyhow, talking today about you wanting to make this one particular huge change in your life before you make any changes in your life. And this change is what you think of whatever the circumstance is that you're unhappy with. So if you see yourself standing in the mirror and you're going, God, if I'm ever going to find a good looking woman again, if you're divorced and you're like going, if I'm going to find a woman who's going to want to marry me, I've got to get, she ain't going to have anything to do with this big fat blob of jello that's just standing in front of this mirror. I mean, heck, I can hardly even see the interesting parts of me. What am I going to do? And if you're thinking that, well, I've got to ditch the weight and I need to lose that weight as quick as possible so that I can get myself, so I can become attractive to other women, you're going to find out that you've got other problems those problems that you've been working on are still going to end up causing other issues to reappear. So if you're thinking that you're fat and ugly and you're not worthy of a woman's attention, you're going to actually show up like that. No matter whether you are 100 pounds overweight or you are on weight and you have actually been going to the gym and you're buffed out, because you're still thinking, I'm not worthy. I'm not attractive to women. And you're going to present yourself as not being attractive to women. A lot of us come to find out something very similar to this, especially like if you lose a lot of weight or something like that. If you think you can make this change and this change will all of a sudden make you happy, you're going to find out that no, it doesn't. It doesn't make you happy, because the object that you're aiming at, say like losing weight, or you want to become a skinny person, skinny people have just as much of a problem as fat people do. The only difference is skinny people have skinny people problems. Fat people have fat people problems. Rich people have rich people problems. Broke people have broke people problems. You kind of see what I'm saying? So if you think all of a sudden you're being dumped with a cool extra $1 billion all of a sudden is going to be the answer to all your prayers. No, all of a sudden you're going to have to become kind of an asshole, because all your buddies and all your friends and you're going to have family you didn't even realize you had family with, and they're going to come along going, hey, can I borrow, $10,000? Can I borrow $100,000? Can I, hey, I'll pay it right back. I just need to, the car is broke down. I really need to get the car fixed. I need to get the car running. Yet they're never going to get themselves out of the situation that got them there in the first place. And the best thing you're going to learn, having $1 million is the best thing to do, is you're going to have to tell them no. And you have to have the ability and the power and the mental fortitude to go, no, I can't help you, and let them be by themselves with their thoughts, because they're not going to be happy with the fact that they have a no as the circumstance. But yet, if you do tell them no, you're going to allow them to actually learn, grow, become better people. Yet, if they are sitting there, if they're in the same boat as what you are, where all of a sudden you don't have that $1 million and you've got a car that's broke down, you have to have the ability to change what you're looking. The same thing goes, even if you're at work, say you work at a place and the matching of that whole business complex is not to what you're used to. Say you are in a high pressure sales situation and you're expected to sell heavily to people, and you're not big on high pressure sales. Well, you're going to think, if I get out of this and I start my own business up, then I can be a lot happier. No, actually, you're still going, because you still have to do sales. And if you have a bad thought about sales, you're not going to do sales very, very well. This is something I actually am struggling with right now. How do I get around to doing sales in a way that attracts more of you men to the site so that you actually want to be coached? And this is something that has to be juggled with. And I'm not there yet because I don't, I'm not making $1 million a year because I still have to figure out. Now I could just go, well, never mind. It's not important. I'm just going to go learn how to do sales by going out and selling. Well, yeah, you could, as long as my mindset was that selling is good. If you think selling is scammy and slimy and doesn't feel good, no, it doesn't matter where you go. You're going to struggle in sales because your thoughts create your results, right? So changing your profession isn't going to fix the problem. You have to change your thoughts. You have to start being okay and actually enjoy and love that whole circumstance. What that circumstance is, say your wife is, has decided wants a divorce, and y'all have had the 2:00 talk. Now you're sitting there wondering, it's like, all right, so, well, you can sit there and either have the women are horrible, terrible, no good, awful beings. Doing that's going to cause you to have the whole line of thinking in that department. Or you can change your line of thinking, change how you view the circumstance that you did not show up for your wife the way she needed you to show up. And so she's going to find somebody else. And if you could look at her in a way that is loving and that is caring, and that you can look at the fact that she got a divorce. Yeah, it sucks going through the divorce, but you're still okay with her going through that divorce. You're going to show up a lot better. You're going to show up a lot more present with whatever is happening in her life. And who knows, you might even be able to win her back because she has seen, oh, wait a minute, he's actually has changed. He actually is being present while I talk, instead of you always being lost in your own world of emotions. Changing your thoughts, changing who you are, making any drastic major change has to start with how you think of your current circumstance. If your boss is mean and you think you've got a toxic work environment, and you just need to change because that toxic work environment is just not healthy for you, it's not really going to change much. You're going to go to the next place and you're going to find still that they have a toxic work environment. You think all women are just after money? Well, you're going to start seeing that every woman out there is after your money, though you're broke because you're having to give money away for child support and alimony. You're going to find yourself in the same circumstances. This is one reason why so many men, and actually, and if you want to look at it on the opposite side, women find the same guy over and over. Men find the woman who is a drunk and has daddy issues time and time and time again, because they have their thoughts about what women are point them to drunks who have daddy issues. And because of that, they're always going to find them. They're going to find the woman who is a combative type of woman. While if you change how you view your circumstance, I got a divorce because, and you actually take credit for for your shortcomings, you're going to find, oh, wait a minute. Hey, my life, my marriage actually fell apart because of my actions, because of what I did. And so because of that, when you start making those changes and those shifts in your line of your thinking, you're going to see different results come about, because all of a sudden you're taking responsibility for the actions you made. And with those actions, you start showing up differently. You start becoming a different person because you're inviting external circumstances around. And so your new stuff comes into your life. So all of a sudden you're not seeing sales as being smarmy. You're seeing sales as being you being an influencer, you showing people the joy of whatever it is you're selling, why that is needed in their life. And it's not smarmy. You're helping them. You're giving them something that they desperately want. Because of that, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. All of a sudden, all the women that you see, you're not coming across all the drunks that with daddy issues. You're coming across the high valued women because you're starting to see the women who are of high value. You think that there are good, high value women and low value women, and low value women. Yeah, you don't really care to need to hang out with them because you notice that all the low value women are hanging out in the bars. Yet the high value women are hanging out at church, hanging out at libraries. You know, I don't know if anybody's hanging out at the libraries anymore, but anyhow, you know what I mean. You know, hanging out in places that maybe that you're meeting those high valued women at the Rotary Club, at the Lions Club, at those types of places. If that's the case, then great. You now know where to actually start finding the better women. You're going to stop looking for them in the places that they don't go. Your marital status has nothing to do with what you're doing. It's just the circumstance. It is just the facts. Yes, your wife has said she wants a divorce. All right. There's nothing you can do. You cannot change her mind, no matter how much you talk to her. She can change her own mind, but the best way of showing her that you're a different person is by actually acting like you are a different person. And you act like you're a different person by having different emotions. And those emotions come from the fact that you have changed how you view the circumstance. I am no longer going to be the victim of my world. I take care of my own problems. I am responsible for my own happiness. It is not my wife's responsibility to figure out how to make myself happy. She has no means of being able to make me happy. She's struggling making herself happy, and I'm sitting here angry at her because she's not making me happy. How is that fair to her, for one? But two, it's not her responsibility. Make it your responsibility and see where life takes you from there. All right. So guys, I want to thank you very much for listening. This one here, I went ahead and made it a little bit shorter, and I thank y'all for listening. If anything I said here resonated, helped it, and is important for somebody, share this out. Share it out with your community. Share it with the groups of guys that you know, because these are things that men need to hear on a very regular basis. And when you are able to share this out to your social media groups, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all those other places, you're spreading the word. You're showing these men that, hey, there's this place called the Relaxed Male, and it is changing men's life for the better. And with that, guys, I want to thank y'all. Thank you very much for sharing. If you liked what you heard, you want to get this show every week on your phone, then please go ahead and follow, subscribe. You can do that at the top of your podcast player of choice, or you can go to relaxedmale.com/subscribe. And there I've got links to just about all of the major podcast players out there. So anyhow, guys, thanks again for listening. Y'all take care. Catch y'all next week. Bye.